Like what is everyone doing? Why are we all working?
Why
in
are people so
silos?
selfish? Yeah.
Why are people so selfish? It's like that is a big question, but actually the answer is because it doesn't happen to them. And the moment people start showing empathy and kindness out of the blue to them, they're going to start doing it to other people.
You know, man, I've noticed something, and that selfishness, don't know, I couldn't tell you where it comes from because I can't relate. But I see that with a lot of people. Like I get a lot of fake love on this podcast. And I don't mean that for the listeners or the viewers, the people who are here right now. I mean like a lot of people who see me after a few weeks or a few months.
Your friends.
Hey man,
yeah, love your
the
podcast.
friends, yeah. Oh, how's the podcast going? And
no, they didn't say how's it going. They say I love your podcast, man. Have you listened to it? Like, no. I feel that.
But it just like it takes away nothing from you to hit subscribe or to press like or to download the podcast. You know what I mean? And yet they make you feel like a burden for asking for that support, which takes a few seconds. Whereas I know as a creative, I have followed so many accounts just because someone's asked me to. And just because it takes a split second of my time. Hey, Lazo, can you follow this Instagram account? It's my friend's business. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to what you're saying. Why not?
It's logical. It's all absolute logic, and people will act the way they get treated. So if we would start acting a little bit more, I guess if we can volunteer more for our friends, if we can help connect people with people, then those people are also going to do the same thing to their friends.
Yeah, I think sometimes people come from maybe selfish backgrounds, subconsciously selfish backgrounds that they don't realize it. Maybe their parents or their grandparents had a chip on their shoulder and they felt like they had to do everything alone in life and no one is to be trusted. But that's not the case.
I mean, you're amazing, man. Like you are, the black swan in this instance because you're an only child.
I'm an only child.
And if you look at statistics about only children, they do tend to be more selfish because they don't have any other siblings. So what is it that gives you the enlightenment that you've got right now?
I have the stories. I don't know if it's for today. I think, no, I'm being real with you because we're going to get very deep. And you're right. Yeah. I have had, like you, many black swan moments. But I think that the God honest truth, Cam, is maybe I'm not ready to talk about them so publicly.
Okay, that's good.
On the drive home, we can probably talk about it all day. But right now on camera to all the listeners and viewers,
to be honest with you, it takes a huge amount of confidence and for you to not have anyone that can hurt you in order to be really honest. And people don't want to be honest. And I'm not saying that in this
but
instance,
it's like I'm scared that my opinions might hurt other people.
That makes a lot of sense. And that's why you don't broadcast therapy. When you sit in therapy and you're chatting to a therapist and you say the worst things at the beginning about people that you love, and then at the end you go, actually, now that I've said it, it's not so bad. But sometimes you don't want those things published. You don't want to hurt. I guess I've been very candid most of my life, just because, I was hurt as a very young kid, man. Like I know what it feels like to be abused, and this is why, again, when I see these sort of like huge online sort of stories that are being told, whether it's like the Me Too movement, really strange time because with that it was like, yes, there's a lot of problems that females encounter that men don't encounter, but is the answer to hate all men? Well, no.
No.
And I don't think that was ever how it intended, but there was a period of time when I experienced so many people telling me how bad men are, whilst I had this little secret, which is that I too have also been abused, and I couldn't say it at the time, and I didn't post it on my social media.
Well, someone would say you're making it all about yourself and look at what these men are doing.
I mean, it's like, we've all been through shit, and I think our job is to find out from the other person shit you're carrying with you.
The problem with society is often the madness of crowds, as they call it. And people jump from one extreme to the other. A small example of that could be someone goes from being super religious to a complete atheist. Neither of these two things are probably right. There always needs to be a balance. And when so many people are followers, because it goes back to the point I'm making, we want to be wanted. How do I get wanted? Well, I need to share the same opinion as everybody else. So what does that mean? That means if Cameron or Lazo believes that not all men are bad, we can't talk right now. Because if I say that, a gang of people will swarm around me and all of a sudden I'm the bad person. There's a brilliant book by Robert Greene, which everyone knows, The 48 Laws of Power. And one of the 48 laws is always preach change, but never act on it too quickly. And society recently, in the last 10, 20 years, I've realized they preach change religiously and then they try to enforce it too quickly. And when they do that, it alienates too many people and it also creates a sheep mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Society preaches change and then doesn't implement it in the right way. Because we are only human. If someone comes in and says, Lazo, we're scrapping everything, you can no longer record in this place, you can no longer have the same type of guest, I am going to rebel.
Mm-hmm.
However, if it's done slower and you tell me why you believe the things you believe, I might get on board with it.
It's very interesting that the whole idea of ideology and culture and where it all comes from, and why certain cultures value certain things and others don't. And yeah, I mean, we live in this multicultural country with lots of different
We're lucky
cultures.
to be here, man.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the funniest things I find, so even so Sarah, my ex, she was half Nigerian, and so I used to love going to the Nigerian barbecues, and
they are nice.
They're so nice,
they're
man.
So nice.
So much food, But then there was always there was a religious element to it, which I don't care about, and I don't but I appreciated it enough to be there with her and to live like that. Could I do that all the time? Hell no. I've got to go find my people. I don't actually think that everyone should get on, Like I don't think.
Oh God, no.
I don't want the whole of the UK to get on harmoniously. Like I'm actually very happy that bad things happen because good people come in to save that.
Yes.
What I don't like is I don't like people who tell people to change before they will change themselves. Like the moment you're in a position where people trust you enough that they will do what you say, you better have your shit together. Because if you're the type of person who is a bad person, you're going to create bad vibes.
Yeah.
End of. Do you know what I mean? So I follow good people, man. I even like a whole load of people hate Elon Musk. Why? How can you hate Elon Musk? Why? Because he's rich?
Good question.
Because someone told you to? Because you saw someone else not liking it? People accept these junk values because they themselves are not doing anything with their lives productive enough, that meaningful enough, that means that they have to fail.
Or they're not confident enough to take their life by the scruff of the neck and say, I'm going to put myself out there. Like one thing I always say to people, and I've said it on my Instagram account, I said it on my podcast, the world deserves to see your craft, or at least you deserve to put your craft out there, especially as a creative. Do you work all those hours just to feel bad about yourself? No, but you will feel bad as you're progressing to become better. But where you shouldn't feel bad is isolated in your room, too anxious. There's help out there. There's people like me that will support your work. You're right, man. Junk values. What is it? They say that the person who stands for nothing will fall for everything.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. Because I have a background in advertising and filmmaking.
Yeah,
and the friends of mine who work for big tech companies or are entrepreneurial people have very different values to my friends who are filmmakers. And actually, the entrepreneurs are the ones that taught me how to fail. They taught me that failure is everywhere and you've got to move fast, you've got to fail fast, fail forward, fail all the time. And you go to filmmakers who have an ego and funny enough, they don't ever show you their film. They could be the closest friend in your life.
Wow.
And you're a filmmaker, they're a filmmaker, and you still won't see their film until it's out in the premiere. And you watch it and you go, wasn't very good. And you think, why didn't you share it with me before? I could have given you feedback. And you go, oh, you didn't share it with anyone before, did you? Oh, no. And that's just an ideology and an ethos and a culture that filmmakers have. That's the way it is. You go to a tech company or entrepreneur who doesn't share with their team their work before the opening day, you're an idiot. And actually, entrepreneurs are so used to failure that they're more than happy to help you